Do all secrets have to be buried in the same way, especially when it involves catching a loved one cheating? Recently, my wife and I were discussing our daughter's family life when my wife had a sudden realization. During our visit last week, we noticed expensive lingerie drying on the balcony. "Take a look," she said, as she started going to the salon and taking up jogging, even though she already had a great figure. After 7 years of marriage, something was definitely up. I didn't fully understand the conversation, but it became clear that Marinka, our daughter, was trying to hold the family together. She had even started borrowing money, just barely making ends meet for groceries and bills. I couldn't help but think that Vadim, her husband, had found someone else, and that's where the family money was going. Meanwhile, our daughter was taking extra shifts at the hospital to make up for the financial gaps. "You think it's another woman?" my wife asked indignantly. "Wait, let's not jump to conclusions so quickly. We need to be smarter and considerate, especially for the sake of the kids. Besides, any outcome would be fine since we don't have grandchildren yet," I replied, suggesting that we stay out of the situation. "I disagree. This is our daughter. If we know something about their family, we have an obligation to share it," my wife insisted. A few days later, my wife called our daughter, Marinka. "Marinaka, we're excited for your visit. We've already set the table," she said eagerly. "Why didn't you ask us? Vadim is going on a week-long business trip today, and I'm on the night shift," our daughter replied. "Will you be here tomorrow?" my wife asked. "No, Mom, we won't be able to come tomorrow either. We have some things to take care of," our daughter answered. My wife began to lament about the many cutlets she had cooked, feeling unappreciated. She wondered aloud what she should do with all the food. "I don't remember anyone asking you to cook so much at once. Just put it all in the fridge. We'll finish it within a week," our daughter replied. But my wife, determined to feed her child, insisted on bringing the food over. She asked me to get the car ready so we could transport all the boxes to their apartment. Even though they had given us a key, my wife wanted to surprise them with a fridge full of food upon their return. It's amazing how a mother can be up at 6 o'clock in the morning, preparing food for her child, only for it to sometimes go unnoticed. Nevertheless, we located their key, loaded up the car, and set off to put everything in the fridge. Our daughter would come home the next day, exhausted from work, and find a fridge full of meals waiting for her. In the courtyard, we noticed that the light was still on in their apartment. The wife's spirits lifted and she remarked, "Oh, Vadik is still here. How fortunate he'll have a snack on his way." We rang the doorbell but received no answer. "Get the key," the wife commanded. With the key, we entered the apartment and called out the owners' names out of courtesy. However, there was silence in response, indicating that they had left in a hurry and forgot to turn off the light. Nadia took off her shoes and went to the refrigerator with the bags, while I started unpacking. As I entered the bedroom to switch off the light, I noticed an empty wine bottle on the table, along with 2 glasses, plates of leftover fruit, and 2 people sleeping in the bed. Although I couldn't see their faces due to the blanket, I assumed it was our daughter who had tricked us by pretending to be on a night shift and business trip, and had instead spent a romantic evening with her husband. After drinking wine, they had fallen into a deep sleep. So trying not to disturb them, I quietly left the room. I decided not to tell my wife in case she got upset that her cutlets had been traded for a night out. I thought we would leave quietly and let the young couple sleep. But as we were leaving, we heard some commotion from the bedroom, including our daughter's voice. Intrigued, I suggested, "Well, since they're already awake, I'll go say hi." I headed towards the room, but my wife rushed to the door and blocked my way. "Dad, let him sleep. Vadim is sick and needs to rest. Don't disturb him yet," our daughter said. I had no idea what was going on, although I probably should have suspected something. Concerned, I asked, "Marinashka, I've never seen you like this before. What's wrong? You seem so confused." She replied, "I'm fine. Why did you come?" This was the question my wife had been waiting for all evening. She grabbed our daughter's arm and led her to the refrigerator, saying, "Look here, we brought stuffed cabbage cutlets and more food. And there are pies on the table too. Vadik, you love my pies." She shouted in the direction of the bedroom. There was no response, as my wife didn't skip the sensitive topic but continued. "Marinka, sit down. Are you and Vadim okay?" Our daughter sighed and responded, "Everything is fine at home. I'm just tired. You go ahead and I'll lie down to sleep." My wife pressed on, "But you said you were going out tonight." Our daughter explained, "I swapped shifts with a colleague to take care of Vadim, who's sick. You carry on. We have a virus going around here." I couldn't understand why our daughter was so insistent on us leaving. This was completely out of character for her. As we were putting on our shoes, we noticed a cigarette pack in the hallway. "You don't smoke." "What's this?" I asked. Our daughter hesitated for a moment before responding, "Oh, that's from a neighbor who accidentally left it here." My wife leaned in and whispered, "Or maybe it's your husband you're worried about." I sense that something is amiss. "Don't be afraid. Please share with us what's on your mind. Does Nadia have someone special in her life?" Marina's mother questioned. Marina replied, puzzled, "What are you talking about, mother?" With reassurance, her mother replied, "It's all right. A mother's intuition is rarely mistaken. Has something happened to you?" Nadia shook off her shyness and made her way towards the bedroom. "I'll find out for myself now," she declared. Marina couldn't stop her mother in time, and as her wife opened the bedroom door, she froze for some reason. "Hello," Nadia said hesitantly. In response, an unfamiliar male voice replied from behind the wall, "Hello." Marina glanced at her daughter, and I realized it was appropriate for me to remove my shoes. Sensing the tension, the man stated, "Looks like I should leave." I promptly stood up, wrapped myself in a blanket, gathered my clothes from the floor, got dressed in the bathroom, and departed from the apartment. Surprisingly, it was Dad who quickly regained composure. "None of my business. Everything is fine, daughter. We didn't see anything." Everyone left. Marina swiftly prepared herself, and she took me along. We drove back home in silence. Once in our apartment, we began discussing what we had witnessed. We cannot let Vadim find out. To prevent any slip-ups, we decided not to reach out to them or invite them over. Strangely, my wife had her own perspective on the situation, and I was quite taken aback. How could we keep him from finding out when he's our daughter's father? If we have any knowledge concerning their family, it's our duty to share it, she argued. I replied, somewhat defensively, "But you're a father as well, right?" Asserting my multiple roles, I stated, "I am a son, a brother, a husband, a father, and first and foremost, a man. So don't tell me what to do." It was then that all the suspicious behavior became clear. Our daughter had purchased underwear for this man, and her night shifts were likely just an excuse to spend the night away from home. Expensive salons and beauticians were a way to hide her spending.